clear some things up in this video, mainly what I mean by using energetic resonance as a means to discern the value of something, to discern the nature of something, good or bad, creative or destructive. So this talk's going to be about discerning energetic resonance rather than using the value system of the ongoing narrative, the social construct narrative. Regarding the energetic resonance or perception, I had something like this since I was very young, but the way that it made me react to things, it made it appear to everybody as though I was just overly shy and overly sensitive. And since no one really recognized it as anything else, I absorbed all the meanings that other people put on my behavior and on my experience, and basically absorbed this kind of antisocial identity from it. But I do remember when I still had my higher sensitivity intact before it kind of got layered with all these mental programs, and how I could kind of perceive the trauma and the violation that's covertly woven into culture. And I never had any explanation for those moments where I would kind of freak out or be disgusted or be overstimulated, and there was never a voice to say that it was, potentially the toxic environment doing that. The social narrative did not support the possibility that my sensitivities were not symptoms of broken brain parts or simply an imbalanced brain chemistry. Because of the reactions that other people had to my sensitivities, they felt like a hindrance, and I was ashamed of how I really was. I was ashamed. I saw it as a weakness and a broken aspect that I had to hide. I felt forced to fake the personality of someone who identified as normal and well-adjusted, and someone who denied herself access to her own senses. And this fake person never pulled it off well for very long. Depression worsened and anxiety showed up, and this interfered with job stability, relationships, self-worth. This personality, she was avoidant, flaky, mentally occupied with being right, with acquiring all the symbols of security and personal success. She was a living mask. She used the cultural standards to guide her decisions. She used her standard public education to compose the inner schematic of her world and of its people and of their history. She could not face nor even imagine that the root cause of her anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and suicidal ideation was the mask of inauthenticity she had been living behind for most of her life. Nor would any doctor or therapist ever suggest that such an idea be considered. The gods of medicine diagnosed a disorder, a brokenness, and prescribed various treatments to correct it chemically and at a cost. When years of dedication to the medical method did not cure nor heal nor even help my condition, I gave up on self-analyzing and threw myself even deeper into an egoic narrative. I became ambitious and pursued owning a small business. I threw so much of my life energy into solidifying this new identity that I did find a small success in my little business, and the new mask became my new identity for everyone around me, and everyone was very proud of me. But I was still not me. And when things were rolling and the dust would settle in between filling local orders, the emptiness would surface. The panic attacks were the worst that they had ever been. And it made no sense because I was so unhappy behind this illusion of living the American dream. And I knew going into becoming a business owner and developing my business, and I knew going into dedicating myself to that this is my last effort to get this life shit right. And if this doesn't bring me peace, then I give up. And that's just honestly how I felt at the time, and starting the business was a last-ditch effort to attain what I thought I was missing. But I learned something in the suffering from trying to live out an ego-driven course while my soul was screaming from the inside. I started wondering, who is satisfied with this crazy hustle? And maybe I'm not built like that, and it's because I'm broken, right? But if I'm so broken, how did I just pull off the small success that I had? And I looked at that and I realized I just decided to apply myself, to put my head to work, to commit, and all these aspects and abilities surfaced that I never knew the depth of, that I had inside me. And then I asked, well, why were they locked out of my awareness? Why didn't I even know that I had that in me? Why wasn't it ever conjured out before except as an act of desperation? And so I wondered, does being diagnosed with a disorder send us the message to not even try, to not even imagine possibilities, to feel like we're decommissioned? And what if they're wrong? And what if my senses are accurate? And what if there is an agenda to cover up the violations of humanity upon which many hidden hands capitalize? Once I started considering the possibility that my discernment of the true nature of things was rooted in a higher awareness, the truth that is beyond verbalization, and that there do exist people and institutions which play dumb to spiritual existence and spiritual awareness, all to set the stage for a controlled, profitable solution, I realized that I could have been right all along, that my senses were accurate. Were I ever to hear that my subtle senses were there and meant to be there and meant to receive transmissions from other people and from the environment, meant to perceive energetic resonance, I would have made the connection that most of my intuitions were accurate and valuable. I would have realized that any effort to disconnect me from it and to make me dislike myself for it would have been identifiable as control and not as empowerment. My awareness and discernment as a young child was much clearer. It's the layers of conditioning and all the mild traumas along the way of growing up in this system that distort the perception. Before clearing out the perception, it's easy to misinterpret things when you're quite sensitive already. The distortions add false meaning to whatever is experienced. Innocent actions can be perceived as threatening. It takes awareness and investigation within to resolve and clear all the layers of distortion. Once distortion and interference are cleared from the mental interface, the whole system of mind, body, and spirit serves as a multi-dimensional data processor, interpreting reality as well as creating it. Energetic discernment is the employment of the full spectrum senses and awareness. We use the reason in the conscious mind, the resonance in the heart mind, and any somatic sensations if we are attuned. This level of perception is blocked off by the busy mind. We learn to find our stillness through getting quiet and meditating, taking the attention within. We calm the body and get it to take a break. We calm the mind and experience what's underneath all the clutter, the ever-present stillness of balance and clarity. This is the mental state where we can recognize what is truly important. Here is where we reconnect with the authentic self, our primary soul code. The more familiar we become with this state of being, the more we come to know who we truly are. The false narratives fade into irrelevance. Once we are connected to this stillness and carry it within us, we can use this state of harmonic resonance as an energetic measuring stick, so to speak. We can ask ourselves, which choices harmonize or resonate or align with my energy? How does this choice really make me feel? What energy does this choice invite into my life? And choices are anything from your consciously focused thoughts and choosing what to think about, the music that we tune into and the subliminal messages that we expose ourselves to, the food we eat. Natural food has an energy that's very different from processed and genetically modified food. How we treat people, the energetic exchanges that we have with people, how we treat ourselves, the energy of our self-care. Do we love and support ourselves? Or do we spend a lot of energy being anxious or complaining or letting ourselves run on empty? If I choose to prepare a nourishing meal and feel gratitude for it, I'm putting good energy into my life. It's these moment-to-moment choices toward wholeness that are healing and keep us pointed in the direction of our wellness, and just call it whatever you want. It's the goal. The energetic resonance of many things in culture is degrading and destructive. Objectification and over-sexualization is a destructive energy. It serves to diminish the humanity and empathy in people, as well as to uphold an oppressive patriarchal society. Lies, corruption, greed, lust, these are degrading energies. The creative energies are truthfulness, compassion, joy, higher awareness, unity, empathy, love. You can sense this energy in things like kindness and generosity, patience, human connection, laughter, and just simple fun. Have the courage to decide for yourself what feels like the truth and what feels right to you. Investigate your beliefs with honesty and trust in the energetic signature that you perceive. I hope that sheds some light or gives some insight into what is available when you are using energetic discernment as your means of perceiving your reality, perceiving people, their actions, their behavior, their intentions. Definitely look more into it if you're not familiar with understanding the vibrational frequency of things. That's something that you may have heard about in another version of it in like New Age spirituality, but there's a little bit of truth to everything, and that's why it's so important to get into your individual willpower to investigate your inner life and your beliefs, and just start looking at things, facing things. So I guess I kind of lost my train of thought there, but I've pretty much spilled my beans on my thoughts on that. So I hope that helps you guys understand what I mean by discerning with energetic resonance. If anybody has any questions, you can post them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you guys for listening and good luck to everyone.